5 or so things that I learned from shooting my first real estate video. Let's go. Okay, so yesterday I shot my first official real estate video. I've obviously shot a heck of a lot of houses photography wise. I've never done proper video like gimbal work and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the company that I do a lot of work for said that they needed me to throw a video together. Me being me, I didn't just want to throw a video together, I obviously wanted to do the best work I could. So I learned a few things. I kind of written them down on my phone, so sorry if I'm looking at that a lot, it's just my memory is absolute potatoes. So the first thing that I learned is time. Make sure that you have enough time to do videos. So for example, I was asked to photograph a house at 11:30 a.m. yesterday, quite a big house, a luxury property if you will, and then I needed to also film video for that same property before arriving at my next house to shoot, which is 5 kilometers away at 2 p.m. So as you can tell, 2.5 hours to photograph, or actually let's call it 2 hours to fully photograph and video a house that needs to be staged, because in South Africa our real estate agents don't do a lot of staging themselves. Also we don't really do show houses that often, so yeah. Let's just say I got through the photographs in about an hour and then I was like, cool, got time, let's power through. But yeah, I didn't have enough time to properly do everything that I wanted to do, which kind of leads me to point 2. Real estate photography and real estate videography don't actually blend. It's not really a copy or paste thing. Sorry, I'm on my knees and my legs hurt. It's a vibe, I don't know why. But yeah, they don't exactly blend. So I've seen quite a few videos where people talk about how, like, you know, if you can photograph a house, you can video a house. It really isn't the same thing. For example, like I either run around with a flash creating a whole bunch of cool flambient, or I will shoot 5 shots and then bracket them in Lightroom and then, you know, paint in darkness and paint in light, and you know, it works. It's cool. I can basically manipulate how light or how dark I want a photo to be. With video, you kind of just get one shot, and if let's just say you're new to it, or you have a camera that doesn't have F-log or C-log or B-log or D-log or whatever the logs are, and you can't really get the most out of your dynamic range, or let's say you don't have a super quick lens or you don't have a nice wide aperture lens, you're going to struggle in darker environments, which kind of leads me to point 3, I guess. Time of day. Like I said, I was tasked with shooting midday, a very hot, bright, sunny day, which is, I mean, for photos, I love it. Those are fantastic conditions, but for video, I find with me at least, I want to do a lot of cinematic stuff, which means I want to get light rays coming through trees. I want to have the sun like glistening, reflecting off mirror. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like basically I would have preferred to shoot that property in the evening, maybe 6 o'clock at night, and the sun's just going down past the mountain, you know, and you get that beautiful glowy light coming into just bathing the house. I would have shot in those kind of things. Now I know that when you're starting out, for example like me, you don't really have the choice of time of day. Like obviously in the States and in UK and where this market is huge, you can say, cool, I need a video of this house, I'm going to film for the whole day. Here we don't really have that liberty. So if you are booking a house in South Africa or wherever you are in the world, try and say, listen, can we video closer to either the early morning if it's like an east facing house, or the late in the afternoon if it's a west facing house, or whatever. You know, you can just see the property and know what works. And I'll kind of throw like a free tip in there. It's all free. But when you get booked to do a shoot, either head on Google Maps and try to get a view for the house, see what it looks like, or ask your realtor or your estate agent to maybe send you a photo of the house or a few photos of the house, so you can kind of plan your shoot ahead, because you do want to kind of go through with a run sheet knowing what kind of shots you want to get. Number 4, if you are new to filmmaking, videography or whatever, I'd say avoid manual focus lenses. Please don't come at me in the comments. I know manual focus is king for video, but it's not easy if you're new to it. I'm really used to shooting manual focus when I shoot photos. That's all I use essentially. But for video, you know, one of my first times properly using a Ronin and all the things, and like trying to trying to get focus, even with your highlight peaking on, like I found it quite difficult. And on a short time span, you kind of want to get those shots. So I found myself leaving 1 or 2 slightly blurry shots in the video. We'll call it artistic interpretation. So what I'm saying is maybe try and shoot more on automatic. If you can, autofocus. Just make sure you're picking where you want your focus to be. You know, you don't want to be coming around you don't want to be doing a push in, you know, with a reveal and then you focused on the front element and then it just punches focus to the back. So no, grab your focus, lock it in first, and then kind of do your thing. And I guess lastly, like I've said this in a few videos before, but know your gear. So at point 5, know your gear, or practice with your gear. So I've never really used my gimbal for something like this before. I've never really used it properly in general, and like one of the first things that happened is I had issues with the gimbal just started like rotating on its own. No matter what I did, I would try and double tap to try and recenter it, and it just kept on like rotating around. Like after 30 minutes of like troubleshooting, and eventually, you know, as unprofessional as this is, I even asked the homeowner for their Wi-Fi so I could get some videos to see what is happening. I eventually found it was just a joystick malfunction, and I was able to kind of unscrew it, clean it up, and it worked. That could have been easily avoided if I knew my gear a little bit better. Same goes for, you know, shooting the video on my lens. I could have been better prepared. You know, the thing is, I'm shooting on a Fujifilm X-S10. I was shooting with the Samyang 12mm, which is beautiful lens, my favorite lens. I mean, if I do a house, I'll photograph every single photo with that lens if I need to. But if I was able to shoot 24mm, which, you know, a lot of the YouTube videos that I watched, you know, trying to get myself ready said, oh, you have to shoot wide angle 16mm, 12mm of everything, you know, you can't shoot close unless you're doing details. And I was like, bro, this is... So I had it in my head, like from every video I'd seen, that I needed to shoot wide angle. I think I could have shot 24 for a lot of the stuff and gotten away with it. That's not the point. I think that kind of it just ties in with what I was saying. Like, I needed to know my gear better. Granted, I think I got a pretty cool video out of it. You guys can judge and let me know what I can do and what I can improve. But yeah, that's just 5 quick and easy things that I learned, that I've taught myself after this one video that I've shot. And I'm hoping this helps you. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to talk, if you have any advice, pop it to me in the comments and we'll go from there. If not, see you guys in the next one. And the sun's setting and I don't have my lights, which is why there's no bright lights. Oh yeah, before I forget, as you can see, the light's still setting. Just 2 like gear things that you have to have. I know you've probably watched a ton of videos and they've all said the same thing. Let me just have my piece in there. So I do have a Samyang 12mm, which on my Fujifilm it's about 18mm. So this is my wide angle lens. This is beautiful. I love it. It's f2. I shot most of my stuff at like f2.8 ish. And then probably the most important tool in your arsenal is going to be a gimbal. You can have a Zhao. You can have a Zhiyun crane, or whatever you call a Zhiyun crane. You could have a Weebless. You could have a Ronin. I mean, if you're shooting on a phone, just get an Osmo, but have a gimbal. IBIS is not good enough unless you have the craziest ninja walk, or you have the smoothest arms. Like in camera or in body image stabilization is not going to cut the cheese. It's really not good enough. So if you can afford one, maybe on Black Friday specials, get yourself a gimbal. And then yeah, try to get yourself a wide angle lens if possible. Alternatively, you can also shoot with a 24mm for photo and video. Oh yeah, and have something like this, man. Have a list. Oh man, the sun. Have a list of shots that you want to produce. So I went in there knowing like I wanted to get like 3 or 4 cool shots of the kitchen, couple of shots of the main bathroom, couple of shots of the main bedroom. And then like that is kind of how I went in there thinking. It didn't go the way I wanted to exactly, but plan your shot list, be prepared, and that ties in with what I said earlier about, you know, speaking to the agent and getting an idea for what the house looks like. Okay, I've spoken too much. See you guys in the next video. Bye.